Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of How to Build a Game Studio. I am Trevor Ross. I'm joined today by our big ego in the room, Kent Gamble.
I'm going to stop responding to that. You hurt my feelings.
Alright, then
You're dead to me, Trevor.
I'm not dead to you, you need me.
I'll kill
The look of love in both your eyes right now is outstanding.
So we are also joined today by a friend of ours, Ed Pickering. He runs the YouTube channel Half Circle Forward.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Certainly.
It's good to have you here. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
It's been a long time.
Probably over a decade at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
we've crossed paths a couple of times in the interim, but for the most part, yeah, this is the most time we've spent together in a long time.
Yeah,
long,
I think
long time.
our communications have been limited to an occasional message on the game trading zone.
Yeah.
Game TZ.
I think that was literally 12 years, I think, had
Yeah,
passed since the last message. I was
Oh,
like,
hey man, you're on here.
Holy
Still
shit.
trading on here? Sure
Mhm.
thing.
For those that don't know, what's Game TZ?
Game TZ is the game trading zone. It's a website that basically a lot of collectors get on, and you trade just games with other gamers. If they're looking for X and you have X,
Mhm.
you know, you can trade whatever game Y is. You can sell some games. It's like a forum-based thing. It's kind of low-key.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time because I know
Forever.
you guys were on it, doing this sort of thing.
I think I got my 15, 16 year plaque. You know, you get on there.
Yeah.
But
And it was awesome. Back in the day, that was fantastic.
yeah, it's definitely lower key now, but it is I get a lot of stuff on there that I'm looking for because the prices are way better because nobody takes a cut of anything. You know, it's just and it has decent discussions because most of the guys and girls on there are gamers. So if you have an idea, I know I posted up, when we started the studio, and everyone was just really supportive, oh, that's awesome, cool, good luck, best of luck. So pretty good community. I don't frequent it as much as I used to because I've toned down my collecting just due to time constraints mostly.
Yeah.
But I try to get on there from time to time still.
Yeah, the community was fantastic though. I
Mhm.
mean, I know you've got a couple of good friends out in Japan now.
Oh
From
yeah,
that, I just reached out to one of mine that I talked to years ago. Same sort of deal with Kent. I just went on there, not been on there for 10 years, and reached out. They're still on there. I mean, the community's changed a bit now, but still, those guys remember you. It's neat.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
So we brought Ed on, partially because he has a YouTube channel now, and we'll talk about that in a bit here.
Yeah.
But we brought Ed on because we've known Ed for a long time. Ed hired us at some point to
Yeah.
work at a small company called EB Games.
Yeah.
Store 98. Was
Yeah,
that the
Store
yeah,
98.
Store
It was
98.
Store 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
There's my
Um,
tattoo I'm gonna get.
oh,
98 forever.
98 crew. Holy cow. Yeah.
So how?
4039, they changed it.
Yeah, it changed to 4039. That's what it is now.
Yeah.
In good old Steubenville, Ohio, which is don't Google it.
Fort Steuben Mall. Oh yeah, don't Google it. It's not a nice.
Yeah,
Place.
it's
Not a
known
good
for a
reputation,
national,
no.
really bad sexual assault case. So maybe
You're
don't.
right. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
Go Big Red.
yeah.
You know what? Wintersville, which is a good place, is officially.
It's
going
right next
adopt
to it, and
yeah.
Wintersville is better.
Fort Steuben Mall, but it's been adopted by Wintersville because I have the authority to do that.
as the heir apparent to the
Yeah,
king of
exactly.
Wintersville.
King of Wintersville. We're a monarchy here. For
Yes.
sure.
As Wintersville's favored son.
I gotta go change my gamer tag. Hold on.
So you can now add Ken on Xbox and add Wintersville's favorite son. But yeah, so Ed, you hired us at
Yeah.
some point for God knows some reason.
Yeah, poor decisions were made somewhere down the line, but no, I couldn't have asked for a better crew. You guys did great. It was good.
So I know at one point you wanted to actually get into the game industry.
Yeah.
So was your original process of working at GameStop your stepping stone to
Yeah,
get
so
into it?
that's a really good question. So originally coming out of school, obviously I went to school in the UK. When you talk to the guidance counsellors back then, this was 96, 97-ish. You talk to them and they'd say, what do you want to do? I was heavily into art. I wasn't very good at art, to be fair, but I enjoyed doing it. And I got into, at that time, I was into the Genesis, the Sega, any of the Sega stuff that I could get my hands on. So I had a Mega Drive and a Master System, stuff like that. And loved it, absolutely loved it. So just not far from where my parents lived, Rare is based in Twycross. And I actually applied as a game tester there, and I went there, and this must have been 97, because the PlayStation was just coming out. And I went and interviewed there, and then I decided that I was going to get into retail, because my mum had done retail for years. So I started working at a comic book store in town, and they sold games as well. So, enjoyed it, talked to people about games. Worked there, and then I went to Electronics Boutique, and I applied. While I was there, I was looking to get into the actual industry, and I applied at Psygnosis, or Sony Liverpool, I think they're Sony Studios Liverpool, Sony North, whatever they were at the time. So I interviewed there, talked to a whole bunch of good people there. Clearly didn't get hired, but just working in the store was almost an entryway into games. And back in the day, and we just talked about this offline, but back in the day it was completely different. The folks that were in the store and were coming into the store, they really wanted to talk about the games. They're excited about the games, whereas now everything seems more vanilla. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an in and out transaction.
Right, so everyone just comes in, they know what they want. It's the AAA titles, but before folks would come into the store and they talk about what they were looking for. I remember when Final Fantasy VII and Tomb Raider came out, and it was right within the same couple months.
Yeah.
And people were coming in and they had Tomb Raider and they were buying Final Fantasy VII. Now, back then RPGs weren't that big, so no one really knew what they were. And I'm like, you understand what this is and what it's about? It's a different type of game. They're like, no, I've played Tomb Raider, it's cool.
It's cool.
I mean, I had that conversation probably 100 times when Final Fantasy VII came out, and Final Fantasy VII almost guaranteed would come back because people wanted Tomb Raider, and that's what
they wanted more of an action game instead
exactly. Then they didn't know what it was. So I worked with a good few people over in the UK for Electronics Boutique. All over the country, I'd go, and I worked with. I'll name drop on this one. So I worked in the Derby store for a while, and they had a new manager there. I was helping out at that store, a guy named Mark Allen, and he was going to at one point leave EB, and he was going to work for a small game company called Cryo Interactive. We talked about it, and he was all excited to go. He was going to do marketing, and he took Alan, who was the assistant manager there, took him with him, and he was like, "Oh, you should come work with us. I don't know who the hell Cryo is at the time. PC games, it wasn't really my thing. I was always a console gamer, and they went off to play. They went off to work. They probably did play. Yeah, they played the song, but they went off to work for Cryo, and it turns out that Mark's career path blew up into running the marketing for Sony Europe and Rockstar Games and various other companies. So I stayed in retail because that was a good idea. Yeah, I thought that was a good idea, and I worked for HMV for a little bit. I was a buyer there. Had some really good contacts in the industry that were in the buying field, real good. And then obviously I emigrated to the US and sold shoes because that's.
I don't think I knew about that. I don't think so.
Yeah, so I worked in St. Clairsville at Kaufman's for a while. Selling shoes.
Nice.
That was my old Bundy phase.
I worked at Kaufman's for one day in the Steubenville Mall selling jewelry.
Nice.
And then you offered me that job back at EB, and I immediately came back.
I told you when you left, you should call me. I told you as soon as you're coming back in town, I'll take you back. But yeah, and then EB opened up in St. Clairsville, and then I carried on with retail. I mean, to be fair, I would have loved to have gone into the industry, and I should have probably done that straight out of school. Mm-hmm. But I think I was working with a lot of good people in the stores and really enjoying talking to folks about games, and I had some time to play games and stuff like that, and then went went the retail route. Which,
and I mean, as someone who was also in retail for a very long time, like once you get kind of sucked in that bubble, it's really hard. Like if you're at least successful on some sort of level, it's hard to branch out and like leave.
It is. It's tough. And I mean, you build up your customer base. You've got folks that you see almost every day. You've got the team that you build around you is huge. I was lucky to have a great team in every store that I've worked at. You hear horror stories, but for the most part, we all got along. We got the job done. We did what we needed to do, and we were all passionate about games. And we all had the same sort of mindset. We weren't just trying to sell what the company told us to sell. Every month it was like, this is your goal, to sell 25 Game Doctors. Okay, cool, but the Game Doctor's not quite as good as this product, and we'll sell that instead, and then we'll probably get yelled at. But they promote certain games. You got to have 20 pre-orders every day for Halo 3 when it comes out. Okay, cool, but I'm going to sell you Bullet Witch instead, because that looks way cooler. And that's what we did. I mean, we went a little bit more independent, I think, especially in Steubenville. It was more
special store. Like
we did
for sure. And I think when we tried to push what they wanted us to push, we kind of failed at it a little bit.
We did
because I think our customer base knew we weren't being sincere.
Right.
Because like literally, this is a story I remember. One day it was Madden season. You're there. You're just like, Trevor, you need to ask everybody to pre-order Madden. This guy that comes up next, you got to ask him about Madden. He's a guy like in an anime shirt, like one of like the anime collared button-down shirt, and like he's buying. No, it might have been. It was like high school you, and but he was buying an RPG, and I was like, this dude's not gonna like. And I asked him about Madden, and he just looked at me like I was an idiot.
Yeah.
I want to work where some guy comes in and he's like, I want a copy of Madden and La Pucelle Tactics. Like that's and I want to be like,
I'm
wow.
sure those people exist.
They do, I'm sure.
Like I'm sure there is a cross section somewhere. It's just like we knew our customer base at that point, so it's like I know that this guy is not going to care.
Right. He's definitely not going to want to buy Enter the Matrix.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember when he did that?
Yeah.
That was huge. We had to sell, like 10 copies a day, every day.
I got it. I got Enter the Matrix.
I did too.
Bought the strategy guide with like the flip cover thing you put on it.
Were you guys there when we did the one for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles? That push?
I don't think I was. I don't think I was yet.
We all bought Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and we
I
were
don't even think I had a GameCube at the time. Right. And I still bought Crystal Chronicles.
If you remember, if we sold that and we hit the goal and we were number one in the region, we all won a NES Game Boy.
Yeah,
one of the NES Game Boys and a complete set of the NES Classic games.
See, they used to do a lot of cool giveaways like that.
That was awesome. I think I bought 4 copies of that game. Because we were close. Like, it was close. There was 2 stores that were close, and I'm like, I'm just going to buy a couple more. For $50, I mean, why not? I mean, I'm going to get myself a Game Boy.
Because clearly spending $200 to get a $200 Game Boy.
Hey, I sold the other games.
That's true.
I put those on Game TZ.
There we go.
I traded them off. And
I traded them for other stuff.
I believe I got some Sweet Saturn stuff out of Japan. but no, that was, I mean, there's good times. I mean, I know a lot of people dog GameStop now, but we had good times there.
Yeah. Well, I think it was also before kind of the corporate culture completely consumed everything they were doing.
I mean, we were the bad boys of retail.
Right. But, I mean, if you remember, though, back in the day when we were EB was just like, do whatever you need to do, make sure the client, the customer's happy.
Definitely.
And, I mean, we were returning games that had been played for like 3 weeks. You could tell that people had just bought the game, played it through, were done with it, and just bought it back. It was like a free rental service. But
we had some serious customer loyalty, though.
We did. Yeah. And the guys that came in, they knew what we were talking about. And like you said, Trev, when we would recommend a game to them, they knew we were being genuine and sincere. So if we were trying to push something that wasn't, what we thought they might enjoy, they knew that we were
because that's specifically how I got my job. Because the dude was asking about Doom, you were busy with somebody else.
Yeah,
I told him everything about the Doom 3 Collector's Edition.
Yep.
And then you just like turned around and was like, Trevor, you want a job?
Yeah. It made sense at the
Now,
time.
it's important to know that Trevor stayed in the store regardless, even though he didn't have the job.
You know, I was
We couldn't
18
get
without
rid
a
of
job
him.
and just didn't like do anything else.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. So
It was good though. I mean, that wasn't the only time that you've done that though.
Yeah.
You know, people had come in and asked about games that even I didn't know about, or any of the other folks that were working in the store. But you used to sit online a lot researching this stuff. I mean, you were almost point person for those weird types of titles that would come out, and I could say, hey Trev, have you heard of Hellgate London? Have you heard of Lego Star Wars? Is my favorite example. But you would be the one that would come in and talk about all of those.
yeah, because at that time, like I did that. I read all the magazines, and when I read a magazine, I would read it cover to cover.
Right.
So yeah, I miss the days of
I
like
miss
a
those
good
Game
good magazine.
Players,
Yeah,
Next
EGM was
Edge.
EGM was my favorite. I think.
I had to import Edge.
Yeah, I imported Edge as well. Spent a lot of money on that. But Edge has been great. Mean Machine, I go back all the way to like Mean Machine Sega and
Yeah, that was
Crash
a little
64 and all of the old,
I remember just taking at school, whenever a new magazine would come out, it was in my backpack, and I'd be reading it on the bus. I'd be reading it in between, and I'm like, man,
Yeah,
this
dude,
is
that
so
was-
good. That's
That
how
was
you
me
got
too.
your
Like
knowledge.
that's why like when Fable came out, I was super disappointed because I read an official Xbox magazine, like everything that Peter Molyneux promised me.
Yeah.
And then when I played the game, I was like, I don't know, this just doesn't like it just didn't resonate with me at the time. Like
well, that was your thing. That was Fable was.
I enjoyed
Mhm.
Fable.
Love
I mean, it
Fable.
definitely did not live up to a lot of the promises
Right.
made, but just as a game, yeah, I played it. I played the Lost chapter like re-release
Mhm.
when they came out, and they did the HD update not that long ago, and it was fun to go back and
It's
play.
still a
it.
good game.
Yeah.
Over promise.
yeah, I think it.
I just love the world.
going back to it later, like
Right.
yeah, it's definitely a good game. It's just at the time, it's like when you expect one thing and it's not
Yeah.
I can
quite
totally
what that
understand that.
Yeah, the hype for that one was insane, and that was another one that they were having this push at the store. This is going to be the next big thing,
Mhm.
like Rise of the Robots.
Oh.
That's
The
before
next
you guys'
big
time, but
thing.
yeah, that was. I remember when that.
I'm
was
aware of the
coming out.
game, but yeah,
Oof.
the push was definitely before me.
I remember the marketing, all of the marketing for that. It was huge, and it was not good.
But it was a different time too because you had a lot of like mid-tier titles
Mhm.
that you didn't know is this going to be good or
Right.
not actually,
Right.
Because you had your like top like your EAs and your Activisions, but then you had like in the middle like Midway and Sega and
Yeah.
all those like at that time.
Yeah.
So I just
Don't say Sega's a Midway company to Ed. He's gonna get mad.
Right now, no, I'm
Hey, they're on the upswing
I'm
now.
happy
Their
with
stuff
what-
They are on
recently
the
has been
upswing now,
pretty-
I
I
would
am
say,
definitely
happy
happier
with
with
it.
them in the last probably 5-6 years
Mhm.
than I was.
They definitely had that kind of that lull for a while.
Lull.
That's been being generous.
Borderline crash and burn, I think, at one point.
They're slow times.
Yeah, the mobile era, we call it in the
God.
Sega community. But no, you're right. I mean, there was a lot more variety in the games, and I mean, I know now there's a lot of indie.
yeah, I think indie
games
has
coming
like
out.
kind of filled that hole.
Yeah.
essentially.
But now, I mean, back then, and even when I was growing up, the main information that I got was from my magazines, like you just said, and we didn't have the internet to fall back on.
Yeah.
We didn't have YouTube to go and look at gameplay. First 30-minute kind of videos, like
like that you can look at half circle forward.
HCF does those every now and
You
again.
know.
Like every other day, but we didn't have.
We're gonna
that.
get there, Ed.
We didn't have. I know. Sorry, no. But we didn't have the wealth of information that we have now. So what you saw on the back of the box, what you saw in the magazines, and you had to trust that the magazine was telling you what it was going to be, what it is.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, it was definitely very different.
And I think our store at the time, I mean, it was the early 2000s, so it was kind of like right before YouTube was like big.
Yeah.
So for us, it was sometimes we would get a title that would come up in the computer, and we would be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
So, and we had no idea what the game was. We had to like guess based on the title, like what could this be? And like we would sit there and have conversations about that.
Yeah, and I I think as well, you had to trust the people that you were working or that you were talking to about the games as well. That was a big thing. You know, you had to make sure, and that's what we did. I mean, that was my big thing, was making sure that all my crew had knowledge of the game and knowledge of, you know, product knowledge at the end of the day. And I think that's why our customers came in and really did keep coming back.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
we would tell them honestly about what was coming out, what was good, what looked good, what was going to be crap, and what, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that. So yeah, different time. Definitely a different time.
Yeah, a very different kind. It's just, it's so weird now because, like, now you can just pull out your phone and just be like, what's this game? What's the Metacritic score? You know, oh, well, this YouTuber I like hated it, so I'm not going to buy that. Or this YouTuber I liked it, so I need to go out and get it. You know,
we were the original influencers.
We were.
I mean, honestly, yeah, and I'm sure that was the same for a lot of other stores around the country. You know, because we were like the specialty retailer for games.
The equivalent of going to a comic book store and like talking to the guys
exactly.
there about.
That's exactly what it was like. And I mean, I picked up so many games that I probably wouldn't have done because Joe was out doing his. You know, Joe was so far out of left field.
If you wanted a Japanese game or an RPG, Joe could
talk to Joe.
Out.
Joe will
100%.
fix you up. Yep. And then I would just buy anything that was random and push anything that looked halfway interesting.
It was weird. You were just like, that one, that's it.
That's a good one. Kane and Lynch
and
was my pick 1 month.
Except Kane and Lynch, man.
And I just remember before it was popular, like, every one of us, we would only get one copy in of Cooking Mama at a time. Yeah. And like, and like, literally just one of us would buy it each time it came, because it was like $20 when it came out, and like, nobody thought like this is gonna be a big thing, and then it like at a certain point blew up, and then crashed and burned at a certain point too. But
Nintendogs was a good example because everyone looked at that when before it came out, everyone was like, "What the hell is this? Like, no one's gonna play that."
Yeah,
we were like, "Fine, let's go with it." And then I think they did put a push on that one at one point. Nintendo,
I think
paid for some promotion.
I remembered some kind of pamphlet or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
But then they did. Didn't they do like a meet and greet at the store? It was like, "Bring your puppies." And
there was
have
some,
fun.
Yeah, they might have, and I was just thinking like that was a time too where like reps from the companies were important. Like I remember Will, the Nintendo rep.
Will
that
was
would come
fantastic,
in,
and Laurie was the Nintendo rep, and Sinclair's one. Both of them were spectacular. Spectacular. They bring in little trinkets.
Yeah, I definitely have a couple like.
It was so funny because you'd sit there and you'd see them come in. You're like, oh hey, and then all of like the part timers, if there was part timers in the store, they just run to them. They're like, hey, do you guys? Yeah. They're like, I need to talk to Ed. Just get it away. But they were always our reps were really good. So shout out to Laurie and Will there.
Yeah, the Xbox rep. What was his name?
He was your buddy.
Yeah, that's why I feel bad.
As soon as the Xbox reps came in, you were like,
yeah, I got all kinds of neat stuff. He was a really awesome guy. He gave me some like the sell sheets and stuff from like early games.
So that's when you were collecting, like hardcore collecting Xbox.
Yeah.
Because we all had our own thing. Like I was on the Dreamcast.
Trevor
collected anything at that point.
But
yeah, you were focused on DS.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were pretty.
And then Kemp was
Xbox collection.
And
Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so interesting fact. Sorry, I'm going to digress a little bit.
It's okay.
You can cut this out if you want. But I just found out that the reason, you know, when we got those blister packs in. The thing. So I just found out maybe a week ago, someone else, one of the guys from Limited Run, is collecting Neo Geo Pocket Color games, and I was gonna actually get him in touch with you in case you were looking to offload.
Yeah, we might need to swap a couple.
Right. So apparently, the reason you can't find complete Neo Geo Pocket Color games is because a liquidator bought all of their stock. They sold all of their stock to a liquidator.
Don't tell me they threw them away.
Destroyed all the boxes.
You are horrible people.
Destroyed all the boxes and put them in those blister packs.
It's so hard to find. And they're still the cardboard too, so they're actually pretty easy to get crushed.
Yep.
So like, it is tough to find the pristine for the collection, except for like some of the UKs that were in clamshells.
They had clamshells, yeah.
But that hurts my heart.
Because I could never understand. I remember when they showed up like one day. Do you remember the shipment came in and it's like, the hell is this? Like,
I bought one or two.
Yeah, and we saw it on the system. I think a few days in, like probably a week or so in advance.
I remember those. Yeah,
I think you pulled it up and you were like, "What's this? This is Neo Geo." And I'm like, "Well, it can't be a Neo Geo. Like they've not made these for like 2-3 years now. We haven't had them in stock."
It was well after the fact.
It was. and they just kept showing up in these stupid looking blister packs, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But that makes complete sense. It makes 100% complete sense. But I just found out the other day. So there you go. Good luck finishing your collection, buddy.
Yeah, have fun there.
It's slow going. I mean, really, the people who have them now are already the collectors, and there's a finite number, so it's just like waiting.
Right. So waiting for them to, die or sell their collection,
or both.
And then hope that you can catch them at the yard sale that their kids have, because
right.
Well, no,
they're like, what's this?
The kids know, because the kids know what it's worth.
It's harder now, to find at pawn shops or at yard sales, because everyone just goes on eBay and is like, oh, hey.
I think comic books still have a market like that, where you'll get like these old ladies whose husband passed and just he had a box of comics, and sometimes you'll find like a treasure, but I don't think it's the same for games because they're not as old.
Right. So, and there's so many people.
Only collectors bought Neo Geo in the first place, anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That didn't help.
Yeah, and I think with that as well, the industry or the market has changed for it dramatically. Because I remember going out to, we go to Rogers or we go to the Exchange up in Pittsburgh, and I pick up Genesis games for like 50 cents, $1 a piece, whatever, and then they got wise to it. So they're like, oh, this is worth $100 on eBay, so we'll sell it for $95.
Yeah.
Dude, just because it's on eBay doesn't mean it's worth that much money.
Or that it's even selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
I noticed that. I used to it was a while back, but when Craigslist started kind of becoming a thing, I would, prowl around and be like, oh, cool, I want to buy a Saturn, an old Saturn or something. And now people are like, oh, Saturns, they're worth something. But so they'll sell a Saturn, but the games will be like NBA 97 or, and it's like, oh, I want $150 for this. I'm like, what? No.
Oddly enough, like this last couple of weeks, I've just started getting interested in looking at some of the older systems. So I've still got my Dreamcast, obviously. I did get rid of most of the games, all of the games, they all disappeared. But I've still got the kiosk.
All right.
That's nice. Still lives in the living room, much to Sarah's disdain. But anyway, I just started looking for an old Xbox again. I'd love to pick up an old Xbox.
An original? An OG?
Yeah, just an OG Xbox.
I might have. I used to have like 4.
I'm going to say
let me look. I might be able to look.
Ask, but I started looking at those, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to get one, I kind of want a nice one. And most of the ones that I've been seeing, they're beat to hell.
Yeah.
And like you say, they come with like 4 or 5 games. It's all like hot garbage, and they're like, original Xbox, the first one ever made, $400.
Get out of here!
No,
I don't even think it was 4 new.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've seen some decent ones, but if you want anything that's in even halfway decent shape, it's near impossible. It's ridiculous, but the industry was never like that. I mean, I remember sitting. Here's a good story for you guys. I don't think I've ever told you this, but back when I was at Electronics Boutique in the UK, when we get returns of systems, like pre-owned systems, so Super Nintendos, Mega Drives, we'd stick them in a box, and if they didn't, if they were defective, they'd just go in a box and they'd go upstairs. So one day, my old boss, I remember this, my old boss Lee, he was like, hey, go upstairs and grab that box of defects. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with it? And he's like, break them.
Oh, wow.
and it's almost sacrilege now after so many years, but I must have put a hammer through 40 machines that day. Like, just tore them to pieces. And I had to, as what I was told to do.
Yeah.
But at the time, they were so common. Like, it was like when we were working at the store and we'd see 25 PS2s come in every day.
Yeah.
Most of them with cockroaches.
I was going to say, the only one we took a hammer to is the nasty infested ones.
Yeah.
Somebody pulled out of their garage. And...
No, they pulled it out of their living room. I'm pretty sure that was...
Come on, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
No benefit given on that one, because that was gross. I don't know why the tray doesn't open. Yeah, we'll open it up to take a look.
I remember the funniest PS2 trade-in I ever had was when I was working at the store in Maryland. And this lady came in, traded in the PS2, opened it up. There's a DVD of porn right there, and she was like,
awkward.
She was like, oh my god, that's my father's.
Wow, doubly awkward. I assumed you were going for like, that's my son's, that's my teenage son.
I've seen that a couple times, especially when you're checking games for trades and you pop the.
So basically, like her father was just like an old dude that just like,
awesome.
Power to him, man.
That's great.
Plays games and watches porn.
Yeah, guarantee that's not the first time it's happened. I guarantee it, 100%. It's awesome.
Gotta love people and what they're doing with their PlayStations. So.
Yeah,
but for a lot of people, the PlayStation 2 was like the first DVD player. It was my first DVD player, so
it's exactly why the Dreamcast failed.
No.
Yeah, because it didn't
have a DVD drive. And if Sega had done that, like they should have done, here's my rant for the session.
Yeah.
Tell us about Dreamcast failures.
Yeah, no. So if genuinely, that's what it was, because the machine was phenomenal. But for the price point, why would you spend that money when you can spend $100 more, get a DVD player, which were at the time
like the new technology, several hundred.
Yeah.
Buy a game system with a DVD player, you're all good to go.
That was when everyone was going from VHS to DVD. It just made so.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense not to.
Yep. And Sega developed something. They had a prototype ready, but they just decided that they didn't need to do it. Almost like what Xbox did with HD DVDs.
Yeah.
I think they made the right choice there.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. In the long run,
yeah.
Although apparently, I don't know how true this is, but I remember reading a lot of articles that like the hardcore like video file like type people actually apparently HD DVD had better something.
Yeah, I think it's just the same as how VHS and Betamax.
Yeah,
like Beta was technically the superior platform, but VHS just became more popular. So
I'll bring Joe up again because he.
Yeah,
I read that a lot.
Actually, yeah.
I was going to say I'll bring Joe up, but now you said that, it sounds like I'm bringing him up because you said porn.
Speaking of porn, I'll bring Joe.
Bring Joe up. No, but Joe was, if you remember, when we had the HD DVD drives, Joe was all over them in the store because he grabbed one for his Xbox and he was buying all the movies because they were all getting clearanced out.
Yeah, I have. It's in a box somewhere at home, but I have an HD DVD player. I used to have it just so I would have a DVD drive connected to it, so that way I could have a game in the main drive and then have a different drive for my movies. So I don't I didn't have to switch discs.
Yeah.
So because that was before everything you downloaded and installed on your damn hard drive.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm vehemently against, by the way. I don't like.
I'm a lazy gamer now, man.
I don't like digital. I don't like digital at all. It has its place.
Yeah, I'm back and forth. Like I'll never lose the collector, so I almost always prefer the physical.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of indie stuff. I mean, speaking now as an indie dev, it's a lot easier to get it out digital than physical.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I can see that the distribution channel is a lot easier to hit, and it's probably a lot cheaper. There's no overheads there, but. With companies, and we talked about this a little bit earlier as well, with like Limited Run, Strictly Limited, and those folks, that's a great channel for the indies to get games out. And I've played so many great indie games. I probably never would have never would have noticed if it wasn't for them, because there is so much. That's the issue I've got right now. Like, if you go onto the Nintendo eShop, or the Xbox store or the PlayStation store,
there's just so much.
Like, I don't know what's good, so I'm almost putting my trust into
those
little publishers that they've picked up some good ones. And like the last couple of weeks, I was playing 99 Vidas. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you're into Streets of Rage, that game is absolutely tip top. And I probably wouldn't have looked at it because I didn't know what it was about. It's based on some guys that do a podcast out in Brazil.
Yeah.
Wildly popular in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have never.
I wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah.
But they're the sort of things that I do on the channel, because that I wouldn't have seen. I showed it to Ethan, my son, and he went nuts for it. And he's like, "Oh, I definitely want to play this when I come see you, and we're going to go through, and we'll probably do a 2-player playthrough on it."
Yeah.
But that game, I honestly thought I'd probably play it for a half hour, do a video, and be done with it. And I ended up getting to it was the boss rush right at the end of the game. And then I ran out of continues. But that was 2 hours I spent playing that game, and it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And there's been a few indie games that I've heard, other people talk about as well, that they probably wouldn't have seen unless they got that physical release. So it's
it seems like an extra avenue for those indie devs to just get stuff seen, which is good.
Yeah.
Because discoverability, like you said, it's probably the biggest issue that indies face right now.
It's tough.
Is because there's just so many storefronts and like 20 games release every day, it feels like.
Yeah.
So it's just hard for people to be like, well, what's this game? Like, or they see a wall of games and then they suddenly just become overwhelmed with like, which ones of these are good?
Right.
That's why we're sending you door to door.
That's why I'll be door to door in your neighborhood.
Excuse me, sir. Have you heard of our game? Can I come in and have a few moments to talk about Winterborn? You think I'm joking, Trevor?
So God, if you show up on my doorstep.
Get the hose, it's Trevor again!
I'm not far away. I'm not that far away from you, so. No, it's definitely a different time. I mean, should I have got into the industry? You know, should I have delved a little deeper into it? Yeah, I wish I had done. But, you know, I've got other reasons I didn't, and I definitely wouldn't go back on those. But, you know, the time I spent at the store was excellent. For the most part. I mean, I know people talk a lot of shit on GameStop now, but really, you know, I think they've changed for the better. You know, they went downhill a little bit for a while when the merger first went through.
Yeah,
we were talking about that with EB just being so customer centric, and then it turned into this is the bottom line,
very number centric. Yeah.
But then it seems now that they're kind of getting it back on track, which is good because they're almost out of business. But you know, they needed to. I don't know whether I'd be as enthused about working there now as I was back in the day.
So one holiday when I was working at Radio Shack, I decided maybe I'll pick up a few hours at GameStop too. It's so weird going back now. Mm-hmm. Like it just did not feel like it just did not feel like it was our store anymore.
Right.
Like it just
keep the happy memory.
You went back to Steubenville.
Yeah.
No kidding. I didn't
know I mean, I worked maybe a shift a week for like 2 months, and it just was weird, and I did not like it.
That's
at
crazy.
All. Yeah.
I mean, I walk by the Sinclairsville store every now and again, and I started working there probably a month after it opened. So a lot of the stuff. You know, a lot of the stuff on the walls, like the light boxes and stuff. I remember changing those when we moved the sections around. I have to go through pull the light boxes off the walls and change the Dreamcast logo to the PlayStation logo and shift everything around. So I look at that and I always try and see if there's something still there that I kind of left hidden. But
a reserved copy of a Dreamcast
game. Just to be clear, there isn't anything hidden in the walls.
Everyone go to St. C.
Because eventually Dee got that store and she'd have found it.
Yeah, she would have found it for sure.
Because that's just how she was.
For sure. But yeah, it's weird going into stores where you spent a good chunk of your life. Like, you know, that was 8, 10, 12 hours a day every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked a lot. You guys both came in, worked, got a ton of overtime when it was available. You guys worked. You'd come down just to hang out.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it was kind of like one of those. It was like our place to like go and hang out and talk about games. Like we didn't have like.
We didn't have an arcade.
Internet, we didn't have an arcade.
We didn't have the arcades. Like when I was growing up, we used to go to the arcades a lot, and
so we needed like that outlet for like to actually go hang out with people and talk about games. So ended up being that store. So.
Yeah, and it was awesome. We had a good time. We had some good customers and some good times and some not so good times.
Yeah, some not so good customers.
Like getting escorted. Were you guys still there when the Wii launched? You might have been. You were gone,
I think I was.
You might have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was.
I don't remember.
I left May of
PS3 and
2007,
Xbox 360 were my last.
That was your launches, yeah.
Yeah, because I went to Maryland May of 2007. So we launched 2006. So I was there for.
You were there for that. So yeah, I remember the night that was coming out, and we told people we were getting them in. And it's like, don't stay in the mall, don't hang out, don't try and rush it. We're gonna get, it was probably a week before Christmas. We were getting a second shipment in, third shipment, whatever it was. We're only getting like 6. They told us to tell people we were getting them.
Yeah.
Which I followed the instructions, told people. I'm like, but we're only getting 6. Don't wait outside the mall. Don't try and sneak in the mall because it's first come, first serve. Yeah. So I walk in the back door from the parking lot, walking down, and one of the cops is walking in the service entrance, and he's like, "Hey Ed," I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Do you know what's going on at your store?" I'm like, "Well, no one's there yet." He's like, "Okay." So we went and got another one of the
That's
cops.
not worrisome at all.
He's like, "Just wait here a minute." And I can't see the store at this point, so he goes out, comes back in with one of the other cops that we know, and they're both great people. We knew the cops for a while.
Yeah, they were pretty awesome.
And they opened the door, and there was 100 people waiting outside.
Jeez.
Like just a massive furore. Like they found out we got Wii's, and everybody wanted one. So.
Oh, and that lasted for like a year after the Wii came out, because I remember like any time we would get Wii's, but we'd only get like 3 to 6.
Get a case or two at a time, yeah.
And like they would just go like that.
Yep. It was a huge mess. But most of the people that, the regulars, they all kept checking in with us, and they were pleasant about it and were nice. There was a couple of people that got just nasty, but they were always the people that we told 6, 8, 12 months earlier that there's a new Nintendo coming out, you might want to pre-order it, but no, it's okay, I'll grab it when it comes out. Yeah, they were the ones that got
pre-orders
nasty.
are bad, apparently, to these people.
Yeah, well, not for a new Nintendo system. I'm sorry.
I never got the whole, I hate pre-order. I understand if you don't want to pre-order through a lot of the stores if they don't offer a refund, but GameStop, you pre-order something, you decide you don't want it, you just get your money back. I never got that one. See, don't do it or do it.
I think a lot of people say it now because it's well, you don't know if the game's actually going to be good, but you can.
But again, you can.
But you'll get a review, and you can see the review before you actually throw down your money.
I mean, you would think they would have said that before, though, because the only thing we had was magazines, and the magazine didn't come out until probably a week before the game came out, or after the game came out. Because we weren't. There was a couple of games I ran to the store day one, like Sonic 2. I had to have the day it came out, and Mortal Kombat on the Genesis, I had to have that the day it came out. But a lot of people didn't see the reviews until a week, 2 weeks, a month, even after the game came in. So you would think it would have been the flip opposite, but it's not.
But it's not. It's a weird thing. I think too, it's just a lot of it is digital now too. Yeah. So it's it's why are you gonna wait when you can just have it pre-downloaded and then just it unlocks when it's time.
Yeah. I will say I have bought a couple of games that are only digital, which have then got physical releases afterwards, which is infuriating. Literally within a week of me downloading it, I'm like, it's not coming out physical, I'll just pre-order it. And it's hey. Anyway, but I can see the appeal to it. I can definitely see the appeal to it. I can sit at work and be like, I just fancy picking up whatever, punch it in on the computer, pay for it, and then by the time I get home, it's already preloaded on my machine and ready to go. It's neat.
It's more of a convenience factor, I think, for a lot of people. So.
But my big concern with that is where you've got games like Outrun 2, you've got games like what's that game? Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's the big one everyone talks about. Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat trilogy on Xbox. Games like that where the developers have an issue with the licensing or something's not quite right, and they just pull it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just recently, the DuckTales remake.
DuckTales did go,
pulled,
You got to give a tip of the hat to them. They did a good job where they warned people to do it. They handled it pretty well.
For sure.
And they put it on sale for $2 or $3, I want to say.
Yeah, because they were hey,
that's a good way of handling
the license is expiring, so we're going to pull it in a couple days.
It sucks,
so if you
it's gone,
but
it was cool that they made it very clear.
At least they had the forethought to do that,
Which is good. That's the way it should be. Because, in all honesty, I've paid good money for games that I now can't play.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Really frustrates me. Outrun's probably the best example. I can't even re-download that if I wanted to. I don't have the original Xbox, so I don't have that confirmation, but it's tied to my gamer tag, but I still can't get it.
Go on and buy one console with it on from a scalper on eBay for $400.
Could do that.
If you want to play PT, isn't it? There's
I'm so tempted to sell my PlayStation because I have PT on.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But I guess that's where we're at right now. People want the things they can't have. Yeah. But if they are only digital, that's what it's going to come to. It's going to come to selling your console because it's already pre-installed.
Mm-hmm. Never delete anything.
No. Buy the biggest memory card you can find.
Massive.
Yeah.
External hard drives. So after EB, you obviously got a different job.
Yeah.
Work, for a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm working basically in the law field right now. I work for an outsourcing company who does legal documents, which is completely different from anything I've done before.
Yeah.
But still on the same side of things, incredibly interesting. It's never the same day twice. So I do really enjoy what I do, and it's heavily in computers, troubleshooting, fixing corruption, stuff like that. So it's analytical in a way. But I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. And again, I've got a great crew of people that I work with, so
that makes a lot.
It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It has its moments, but overall, it's been great, and they've treated me real well.
So you've also decided on the side,
to
do a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that's a Trevor segue right there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so a couple of months back, I was sitting looking for something to do because I don't need anything more to do in my life. I've obviously got a 2-year-old, and we're finishing.
Spare time to kill.
Yeah,
right?
tons of spare time. You know, I got nothing to do. I mean, I work a crazy amount of hours at work, and then I come home and we hang out for a bit, and then I go to sleep. That's pretty much it. So I figured within all of that free time that I've got, I'll just squeeze in another project. And I thought it'd be fun to do some YouTube work. And I launched Half Circle Forward in July, August-ish. It was a little bit slow to start. But I think we're finding our feet. Well, I'm finding my feet now, so like it's all of us.
Yeah.
But
never offered me a YouTube spot.
Never offered me a job in your game development studio, so I don't want to. Well, to be fair, and we'll go on record on this. To be fair, you did, but I understand.
Once we have that position open,
we'll be good.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk offline on this one. But no, I mean, I think it's finding its feet. It's going with a lot of like gameplay. Unboxings. It seems to have turned into an unboxing type channel, which it really wasn't intended to be that way.
Yeah.
But the amount of time that I have in the evenings to be able to do voiceover work, which is a big thing that I have to do. I can film no problem with the baby running around, but doing the voiceover work is an absolute nightmare because she's constantly making noise. So you know, being able to do the voiceover work is a big challenge there, and it's something I can do when everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
So, but I can't sit down and do streaming like I'd really like to. I'd really enjoy, doing that. And I can't do huge, long, intricate reviews where I'm doing voiceover work while I'm playing a game.
Right.
It'll probably come at some point, but right now, it's kind of turned into an unboxing gameplay type channel.
Well, for me, I actually, I don't know about everyone. I kind of like it in the fact that I don't have massive amounts of time, so like rather than watching some crazy long thing, it's actually kind of nice to be able to like have those kind of chunk size.
Yeah, just watch like
when
a 5
I'm
to
eating
10
dinner
minute video.
or something. It's something I can kick on and.
Yeah, it's been it's definitely been an interesting process. And getting feedback from people here and there and letting me know what I'm doing right.
I like the setup for your unboxing videos. I mean, I don't know. Did you just use like a light box or something?
So interesting story on that one. So Sarah actually got me hooked up with, those boards that they sell for when you do a project at school and you just pin stuff to it. Yeah, it's one of those sitting on my living room floor. That's all it is.
Yeah, because it like looks like it might be like a table or something.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it is. And I sit on the floor in the living room while everyone else is running around me, trying to tell them not to run because it shakes the camera, and then I just do my thing. But I mean, I've based that on stuff that I've seen. I watched Techmoan. I don't know if you've heard of Techmoan, but he's a guy out of the UK. He does obscure, obsolete tech basically, and it's genius. So that's the way he does it, and I kind of like that. And I found myself watching those videos, even if I wasn't really interested in the content.
Yeah.
I'm like just to see what he was doing with it. So I kind of based it on that, and I'm trying to pull little bits from different YouTubers that I watch and go from there.
Yeah, I was extremely jealous of you getting that gear system because that system is sweet.
That is phenomenal. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, that is the nicest console I've ever seen in my life. It's beautiful.
That's one of those where it's like I wish I had money because I would have bought one of those immediately.
Yeah,
a lot of times they're like, for me, a lot of times when they do those limited edition consoles, they either look like they're cheap toys or they have so much crap on them that it's just an eyesore. But that was like the perfect kind of blend of subtlety, like everything kind of blended into the console itself.
And it's all etched in as well. It's not like they just slapped a sticker on it. It's almost like when they did the red one.
The controller.
And it's all etched in. I mean, it looks translucent. So the Crimson Omen that's embedded in the ice, it looks like it's embedded in that system.
Yeah,
it's
really
beautiful. And then I'll find out if you guys watch the video all the way through because there's an Easter egg at the end. So when
I turn it on.
I about fell over. Like I had no idea.
They've done that a couple of times, and I
because I remember like Xbox 360, like the Star Wars one had the. I think it was the R2D2 beeps whenever you turn it on.
And I got the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare one as a gift because I worked on the game.
Yeah.
And it has that when you turn it on, it has the like the power suit, the exosuit armor of it powering up. That's the sound.
I was totally.
Like, that's a cool little touch.
It is, and I was totally not expecting that. And then when Sarah had just walked out, and I was setting it up because I was like, oh, I've got to download Gears and get all that. I'm going to play it. And I just hit the button, and I'm like, the hell was that? Like, what did you do? And she's like, what, nothing? I'm like, no, listen to it. Like, I think it's this. Like, listen to it. And you press it, and I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, just the attention to detail that they went into on that machine is phenomenal. And even the box, if you look at the box, it's there's artwork all the way through it. I mean, there's no expense spared on that.
Yeah, one. It was super well designed. Like, and I'm just like in my head, I'm thinking like trying to think like the engineer that had to actually like design this thing, and like it just blows my mind because I'm like I'm getting anxiety just thinking about having to put this kind of detail into this. Xbox.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, you can really tell they put the effort into it. And there's a new Death Stranding PlayStation 4 coming out in a couple of 2 weeks now, or it might be out by the time this goes out. But so I was sitting looking at that, and I'm like, do I want to do it? So there will be an unboxing for that because it's been pre-ordered.
I live vicariously through you now with those limited edition consoles.
See, Sarah was yelling at me the other night. She's like, I don't know why you keep buying these things because all you do is cycle through them. So it's like I got the Fortnite, the purple gradient one, which I thought was awesome. I'm like, this is a great looking system.
I'm not a Fortnite guy, but it was a good looking system.
Yeah, and it didn't say Fortnite on it anywhere. It wasn't, but anyway, so I got that one. I'm like, this is an awesome system. I'll keep this. Put it in the thing. Update all my stuff. Download all my things. Hey, I'm gonna go get this. What is it, Days of Play PlayStation?
Oh yeah,
that looks awesome because it
does look really nice.
It looks like my MacBook, so all is good. Keeping this one, never going anywhere. Gears of War gets announced. Well, I'll sell the purple Xbox and I can get the Gears one and not lose too much money, thankfully. But so I got that one, and now with the PlayStation, it's like they can't do anything else this year. So I'm happy with this. Days of Play is
coming
good.
Up on the end here.
And then the Death Stranding one came out. And I'm like, I can't do that. And it's almost like I have to have it for the channel because if I'm not, I've got to be kind of relevant,
right?
Which is really frustrating because for a smaller channel, trying to get views and stay relevant, like I'm not the quickest to get my videos out. Like a game will come out, and I don't have time to just run home, do it, film it,
and put it up.
Voiceover. Yeah, I did it with the Genesis Mini. I ordered one of those. I got that the day it came out. I filmed it, but I haven't had time to do the audio, which is killing me. But now and again, everybody's doing the same video. So if I drop just a unboxing video of that, everyone's seen it. No one's gonna care.
Yeah,
it's really tough for the smaller YouTubers. Anyway, the guys, and I can see it for the guys that don't have all day to sit and do this stuff. It's tough. Yeah. But do what I can when I can, and if I feel like if I stay on the obscure, weird.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like doing the kind of weird stuff that you don't see as often. I think is a good
because now you're doing like all the limited stuff on like mostly Switch.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of Switch stuff right now. I did an unboxing of Control because I thought Control looked fantastic. Remedy is
they're
a great developer. They're not. I mean they haven't done much wrong in the past. But trying to stay relevant but in a different type of way, I think is what I'm trying to do right now.
Trying to carve out your own slice of the video game pie,
Yeah, and I think, and we talked, I think, we might talk about it on here, but we definitely talked about it on offline. But with all the limited game pressings that come out and the way that people play now anymore or collect anymore, a lot of people are not going to open these games.
They'll never actually see what's inside.
Exactly. So I'm thinking more of an archival type thing. So if you're curious and you can't find that copy of 99 Vidas in 20 years' time, and you just like wonder
what's about.
There's the game. There's what's inside. This is what it looked like when it was brand new. Almost like what we were talking about with Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Plus, you get a nice, soothing British voice overdone.
Yeah, which has its moments. And I put that through post production multiple times with filters and my.
But you know what? No matter who you are, when you listen to your own voice, you hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm that way too. Every time I listen to the podcast, I'm like, Kent, shut up.
Like at this point, I've been podcasting for like 7 years, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But like when I first started, I was like, no, this is like terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and seeing it's even worse when you see your picture on the screen.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh my god, but Layla loves it. She every time I come on, she's Daddy.
There you go.
Daddy.
Nice.
I'm like, there you go. So if she's acting up, you just chuck that on, stick her in a crib, and cut that piece out. Because I do parent. I actually do parent. But no, it's definitely interesting. There's a lot more involved than I anticipated, as I'm sure you're aware doing the podcast. There's so much more than just sitting down, recording, and then throwing it up on YouTube and you're good.
Yeah, Trevor's constantly cutting out my horrible things I say and insults I sling at people.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. And then, you have days where you have a ton of people listening, and then obviously with YouTube, you want people to subscribe, but do I want to force that down their throat? Because I've seen some people stuff where they splash screens every 2 minutes or every 30 seconds.
That's kind of the hard part. It's like, how much is promoting yourself too much, and how much, like, you gotta, like, know when to, like, hang back and be like, okay, maybe I don't want to push.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to get people to the point where it's like, oh, leave me the hell alone. Yeah. But it's like, you also have to promote yourself. So
that's why I wish that there was something on YouTube that, like, you could show an extra clip of a video if they're not already subscribed. Because I'm sure people who are subscribed or like your videos or whatever don't need to hear you say, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Like,
hit the bell.
Done that just so have like an option where if a person's not subscribed, there's a little clip at the beginning or end or even in the middle, whatever. Like
you can add. You can add little pop-ups and things that come up. I haven't really looked into that. I bake mine into the video, but I do it like the first minute, I think, just because I'm trying to catch, I look at the analytics and see how long people are actually watching on average. So you try and see, like, the first minute, most people are still watching, so I'll catch it there, and then I go, like, every 2 minutes, but it depends on the amount, how long the video is. But yeah, going overboard, I definitely try not to go overboard with that, but for the folks that have subscribed, I apologize for the quality of the content. I'm trying. I'm trying desperately.
No, I think what you're putting out is great. So
I appreciate that. No, it's the folks that have subscribed. I know you guys both watch. I appreciate everybody sitting and putting up with my shit for 5-10 minutes a day.
I told you I'm sorry. I haven't subscribed yet.
Yeah,
I've watched, but I'm gonna do it.
I know. I was looking at my analytics the other day, and it just yesterday, and it said, you hover usually around about 60% that are not subscribed, and then the rest is split.
That's my fault.
And I dropped. No, I actually dropped. I looked the other day because I had one video go a little bit viral. 20 views in an hour. I was like, oh my god, that's so good.
Hey, it's starting.
Like, holy cow, I'm going viral. It didn't happen, but I looked at my analytics after that, and it was like 73% of the folks that are watching my videos right now are not subscribed. So if you do check out my stuff, it's a huge favor that I ask, because I'm giving you nothing more than my good word and hopefully some entertainment. But if you do, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe.
Well, from what I've heard from other YouTube creators and stuff, it seems like now the reason that so many people are pushing like to hit the bell on the channel is because people just aren't being notified when the channels you subscribe to are put up a new video. So like, to actually get notified, you have to hit the bell to get notifications, and so it's just YouTube has done things to make it harder for people to actually follow YouTubers, which
it seems that way. And I mean,
it's so weird.
I don't delve as deep as some of the smaller YouTubers do. I mean, I'm sure there's other things I could do to drive more traffic. I mean, I'm just doing it really as a kind of a hobby because I enjoy it. And it's been nice because I've tied it into Twitter, and I was never into the social media side of things too much, but I've kind of had to be now.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Cody, who I work with, he was trying to explain what Twitter was for me, and he helped me with that and explained all of that fun stuff. And that seems to be going really well. I mean, I've talked to a lot of really good people, great people. It's how we got back in touch.
We reconnected,
which is awesome.
SwitchCore.
SwitchCore. Yeah, SwitchCore is fantastic. That's not one of my. I have no. I can't claim that one as my own. Joshua is the guy, one of the guys that started that, and I fell into that just being heavily involved in the Switch universe with my videos. But that community that he's built and a couple of other fine folks there have built is spectacular. I mean, there's really nice people. You see people giving emotional support, people helping.
It's rare to see gamers being nice.
No, it's awesome.
Nice to see.
To be fair, it almost reminds me of Game TZ. On a level, it reminds me of Game TZ. Like, you see people just having general chats. You see people, there's a couple of guys, and I'm pretty sure they're out in Pittsburgh, because they posted a few places that they were at. And I'm like, I know that place. And they're like, oh yeah, it's awesome. Then you start talking about other things, and everybody's looking out for each other. If a limited release comes out, then Tiny Troopers was a great example on the Switch. It got a limited release through Walmart only, and it was 1,500 copies, I think. And I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it was 5,000. I'm sorry, I think it was 5,000. But it was only through Walmart. Where we live, we've got 5 Walmarts in the area.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not one of them had it. None.
Wow.
And there were people showing up on eBay. As
of
usual,
course,
they were showing up on eBay the day after people figured it out and it was out for an exorbitant amount of money. But these guys, they were going around and they'd see the tweets come through and like, I've got 5 copies. Who needs one?
That's
$20.
Cool.
It was a $20 game. It was a $20 game. They charged $20 plus shipping. It was Game TZ.
Yeah, honestly,
who needs
definitely use that.
I got 5, and then there were people making lists, and everyone was.
That's
I mean, it was
cool.
just it's a great community. So yeah, Switch Core. If you want to join officially, you can actually reach out to Joshua, and he'll add you to the list, the distribution lists. But obviously, you can just use the hashtag Switch Core name, and you'll get in touch with those folks. And there's some really, really good guys on there.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because you'll see on like Twitter or even Facebook and stuff, there will be groups of like people where that's where the actual like good community stuff hits.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you're gonna have the trolls like regardless of what you're doing.
Right.
But I think there's more actual good people on there. It's just the trolls make the most noise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Twitter's been interesting. I've picked up a lot of good followers on there. And again, thank you if you are following me on there. I apologise for my incessant ramblings or inconsistent ramblings, I guess I should say, because I don't do it as much as a lot of people do. But I appreciate you following me on there as well.
And if they're not following you,
where
absolutely. Can they find you on Twitter?
Very good. So
how about that? Yeah.
Look at you.
I guess you don't need me anymore.
Get out of here, Trevor.
Yeah. There, you just saved yourself some payroll.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I don't pay these guys.
But I am on Twitter as well. It's at HCF Gaming. I'm on there fairly regularly, so if you want to reach out, feel free to follow me and shoot me a DM if you just want to have a general chat.
And you can also find a link to the YouTube channel on your Twitter profile.
Yes, I have that as well. But I'm on there probably more than I should be, just reading stuff. But a lot of good people. I've met a lot of good people on Twitter so far, and I'm having some good conversations, and it's nice. I've met a bunch of folks out from the UK and Australia who are talking about games that I used to play on the Spectrum and the older, the European type system. So seeing some of that stuff is an absolute blast. Yeah, it's good times. Still learning it though.
Awesome. Well, Ed, thank you.
You're welcome
for being on the podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It
was great to actually get to see you again. Yeah,
it's been quite a few years.
It's been a long time. It's definitely been an interesting afternoon. I've enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's good.
And that was our really fun chat with Ed on the podcast this week. It was great to have him on. Half Circle Forward is really cool. I like what he's doing with the unboxing videos. So definitely check that stuff out. Go to HCF Gaming on Twitter or bit.ly/halfcircleforward to check out the YouTube channel and give him a comment on his stuff, like his stuff, do all that good stuff that you can so that he gets seen by more people. That would be awesome. And for us, again, you can follow us on every social media platform at Winterborn Games. If you have any questions for the podcast, social media at winterborngames.com. And if you want, please, we would implore you to rate us, review us on iTunes. That helps other people check out the podcast, listen to what we're doing. And we just want to thank you guys for listening. So we'll be back next week.